Hell yeah. Do we have the, like, 5-man rosters? Uh, hell yeah. Yeah, I see the full, like, 10-man. They never do.
Giga's team is tilted Tater Tots, huh?
Hello and welcome back to the bakery. I'm your host, Team Rosemary, caster named Zach Warlock, and joining me, two good friends of mine and my co-casters for the evening, both Maceo and Pickin. Guys, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
I'm glad you guys were able to make your cameo before the countdown finished. Just making sure all the chat knew that you guys were there.
You know, they can hear you and they can't hear you sounds basically the same. I feel like it's not totally my fault, you know? Just mostly my fault.
It's not a big deal. I don't think anybody's complaining about the high production quality being shattered on this stream.
The manager actually did just send me my 2 weeks notice of I'm being let go, so it's truly unfortunate, but it happens sometimes.
Oh, that's actually really tough. It was like at least get the severance package?
No, actually. Apparently when you get fired, you get nothing, which, you know, sucks.
Dang, they really cutting corners out here, I guess. Well, regardless of unfortunate vocations and their situations that may arise from them, it's going to be a great night. You guys know why? Because we got two great teams who are about to go head-to-head in today's match. Now, fun fact, both these teams are joined with the large majority of the tournament in that they are 1-1. Almost the entire tournament right now. We've only got 2 rounds, so it's not super intense. But with both those rounds, almost every single team has won a game and lost a game. In fact, let's look over at our league standings really quick, and you'll see that there's 2 teams currently that are 2-0 undefeated, both Camp Autumn and Puffy Poro. Every other team in the tournament is actively 1-1, except for Which Lane Am I, which is 0-2. And you can argue that the only reason they're 0-2 is because the round 1 was automatically given to them as a loss. They had a little bit of some issues getting their team signed up on time, so they got the round 1 loss. So they potentially could have been 1-1 too if they were there and present. But either way, we got a head-to-head matchup. Moist Chalupas going up against Tilted Tater Tots. They both are wanting this win. They want to be able to stack themselves on top of this ladder board, being the top 4 of the teams. Definitely don't want to fall to the bottom half of the roster.
Yes, it's very important to kind of, I guess, separate yourself early, especially with how close a lot of these teams really show themselves to be. I'm excited to see which team is going to actually bring it this week. Hopefully they've had some time to practice with each other. On week 3, around this time, you'll start to see some synergies, maybe around top jungle and mid jungle, something like there, to see where these guys really can hone their skills and prioritize to get these wins.
You also see if some of these teams were just relying on raw talent and no teamwork at all, as that tends to go poorly as the tournament goes on and people actually start getting that teamwork you were talking about, working, chugging along.
Yeah, like I can tell you with my current team, we actually just got done with some team practice before our match later tonight. And we were really trying to focus on, we were doing a really good job at picking champions that we were good at, but we weren't doing a good job at picking champions that worked well together. You know, so every time we'd hop in champ select, it would just kind of turn into this like, oh, I don't know, what do you want to do? And, you know, we would just run until the clock hit 0 and go, oh, just grab me, insert champion here. And we happened to pull out 2 victories from it, but it it was unanimous. We're like, hey, one, this is stressful, and two, we know we can do better if we just prep a little bit of time in advance. And I feel like a lot of the teams are putting in a similar boat. Every time I've played in early parts of the tournament, when we do Discord tournaments like these, a lot of the teams definitely have a similar vibe where they're like still trying to figure out who plays what champions. And, just because someone says they can play so-and-so doesn't mean they're actually good at them. And after you've done a few weeks with each other, you played enough normal games, enough flex games together, you start to pick up on the idea of like, hey, when you play Malphite top and I play Trundle jungle, we can kill our enemy laner every single time. Or like, you start to pick up these like little duos and trio comps, and it just starts, the oil, gets into the gears a little bit, stuff starts turning a little easier, and you just start chugging out victory screens.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that a lot of these teams use this opportunity to more play the long game rather than trying to see some short-term success. Being able to play in a team environment is not always what a lot of these people tend to do. A lot of these guys, they run solo queue, duo queue, maybe at the most. You only have to synergize with one or two people, right? But when you're in a team like this, you actually have to think more along what will benefit my team the most, or what will get us that win, rather than trying to hard carry every single game you're in. So I'm excited to see, especially how a lot of these differing ranks play around each other, play with their strengths, their weaknesses, see what they can actually get out of all of the high ranked players, and try and pull those lower ranked players up, give them some ideas on what they need to be improving on and how to improve on it with a team of people that is paying attention and helping them out whenever they can.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the big things that we're going to see from these two teams specifically is we have what I would consider like a very easy, clean spread of talent across the team. A lot of the teams we've seen so far, you have like one master player and then like that low-ranked player or the two low-ranked players like you were kind of talking about earlier. And I'm like, oh, let's see if we can, elevate this bronze player to play at around a gold level by training them and kind of teaching them the ways. In this matchup, most of the players that you're going to see on here all kind of bounce around, that like platinum emerald range. We have a few outliers. Harmoniously is a good example of a player that we've kind of known to be lower elo. So honestly, big props to her for being silver 4 currently. I distinctly remember her being an iron level player, so she must have been really practicing, putting in some work, and trying to get up there. And I know on the enemy team we have a nice average of around gold and plat as well. So just a very even spread. We're not really going to see that one player who's like the dedicated carry and then everyone else is just kind of there to funnel them. Momo is probably the only person I can think of that probably fits that description. Momo is like really known. He's a really good jungler in the Discord. He's been master tier before, currently diamond. But he's really been known for a lot of these like carry type junglers. I know he used to play Kayn a good bit. I don't think he's touched him recently, but we've seen him on like Hecarim before. We've seen him on some like AP junglers. Seen him Karthus, Zyra, things like that. So I'll be interested to see just where his team wants to pivot him on. I know he's not generally a tank player, although I'm sure he's got the capabilities of picking up the Sejuanis or the Amumus. So be curious to see how they choose to draft around him and Baziggs down in the bot lane.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's different ways to play around the. You can try to play around your master tier player and try to get them ahead, or you can just try to prop up your lower level players, and as long as they feed less than the other lower level player, theoretically you can win like that. So there's just a couple different ways you can try to play around these team dynamics, since with the buying power, usually you have at least one or two high ranked players and then one or two lower ranked players.
Yeah, and to speak on specifically Momo there, looking at some of his match history, at least in solo, solo duo ranked, this guy's definitely on the cane. He has a 55% win rate, a 3.33 KD ratio on it, and even looking at all of his other junglers that he's played recently, all of them are AP junglers. You see Diana, Talia, Brand, Lilia. He's pulled out the Kha'Zix, the Lee Sin. All of the junglers that he's played recently have above a 2.0 KDA. This guy, if you're going to, pick someone to play around, it's probably going to be this guy. He's actually kind of insane.
Yeah, and he's been a terror in some of the previous tournaments we've done as well. I know he took first place. Him and his team took first place, I believe, in the first tournament that we did. We've done 2 previous ones. And the first Lowland Tournament of Champions, I believe him and his team took first place. If not, they definitely made it to the semis. And then He also did pretty well in our Riftwalkers tournament that we did a little while back as well. So just been a very consistent laner, a very consistent jungler, and just a good overall team that we can see from their end. But that's not to say that Tilted Tater Tots is anything to laugh at or sneeze at. They've definitely got some good players on their team as well. And I think one thing that they have going for them is they have a lot of flexibility amongst their champion pool. Lots of their players play 3 or 4 champions at a minimum, meaning it's really difficult to just ban out one single champion from their team.
I think another thing is I know at least one of them have played multiple roles fairly consistently for at least a season, which also is sometimes helpful in the teamwork aspect of, oh, I understand, even though I play mid lane, I understand what my support wants to do. And then that kind of understanding of multiple roles kind of helps you with the teamwork aspect that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think one thing that they have going for them as well is Giga has really been doing a good job at just prioritizing experience on jungle. I know in the past he's played in tournaments where he was the top laner, and he's played a couple of other roles as well before. But he's really been putting in the work to try to learn jungling, and I think he's done a lot better at jungling in the most recent week or two than he was about a month or so ago when they were first kind of forming this team together. And even though I don't get to play with all of these players, I can only assume that the rest of his team has also been grinding and practicing in the same boat. Chronic also one of those players that I've known as a mid laner for a long time. So seeing him kind of stretch his wings and go back up into the top lane is definitely an interesting pick. I know his rank definitely supports him as a bronze player, and I think a part of that is because he was spending solo queue trying to learn a new role rather than taking it into normals and kind of practicing with that. But I know he's gotten a lot better, especially at the kind of the 2 or 3 picks that he's been proficient on. And even his Lissandra, he was known for his Lissandra one trick for the mid lane for a while. I imagine that's got to be a Titan in the top lane too. If you pick a squishy like ranged champion, or even like just a melee assassin type champion, like maybe like a Tryndamere or like a Wukong or something like that, I could definitely see Lissandra top coming out as like a kind of a hidden sneak pick. That would be pretty terrifying.
Hopefully we get to see something like that, to be honest with you. The counter pick game and what is not LCS or very high pro play is actually very interesting because it opens up a lot more opportunities for one tricks, and not even one tricks, just characters that people have tend to gravitate towards more often than not as they learn and grow as a player themselves. And we are going to be going into the tournament draft here. They played it, or they actually did the draft off stream. We'll be able to see a recreation of everything that they've done here. Akali is the first ban. Makes a lot of sense. Very snowbally. Kindred in the jungle as well.
Do you think we'll see the Tristana bans from that LCS level or LEC level, or do you think that's too high?
I don't think
I
don't think we're going to be seeing Tristana Corki in this game. I know some of the players in the Discord have been practicing both of them, but especially considering that they're about to get nerfed here in the next couple days, I just don't think it's worth investing your time into learning those champions if you're not already proficient in them. And we do see the Lissandra ban coming out from Team Moist Chalupas, so they definitely are not running that spicy top laner as their potential. And I like the first pick Nocturne too. Very terrifying pick after level 6, really doing a good job at just shutting down anybody that gets caught out. You put that in the hands of somebody like Momo, who understands macro very well and is positioning around the map. He's going to be able to funnel himself pretty fast to that level 6, and then lights out for this Jhin.
Yeah, but we actually see the instant counter pick from Briar. It doesn't seem on surface level to be that good against Nocturne. Ooh, and the Viger actually being there is a pretty good counter to Briar itself. But Briar actually does really well against Nocturne, considering that after Nocturne goes in, he has absolutely no way of getting Briar off of him. His spell shield doesn't really do anything against the auto attacking of Briar, and she does a decent amount of burst damage to kind of kill him before anything actually happens. And when we see the Lux there as kind of a protection for the Jhin as well, she's going to be staying a bit further back, being able to give him shields and stunning that Nocturne on when he uses his ult. I'm very interested to see how much value we're actually going to see from this Nocturne. Also doubly considering the fact that we have Vigar and Ziggs already out. Both not, too good at diving, to be fair. Vigar is more at zone control, and Ziggs does have his ultimate and some long-range Qs for poke, but not really that good all-inning with Nocturne as well. We'll have to see what they do on the 4 and 5 to try and complement this Nocturne, or if they're just going to, set the dog loose and see what he can do on his own.
I will say the Lux Jhin already has some good setup for the Briar, so this might be a target lockdown type of deal where you get some long range CC with the Jin or mid with the Lux, and then Briar can finish it off. And Ari is also very good at getting that single target lockdown going on.
Oh,
Oh, we
now,
actually see Kane.
yeah. So
Kind of
that,
interesting. Maybe we see Nocturne top here.
yeah. I'm honestly now
Or
I'm
Kane
very
top.
confused because so Ziggs is really known for his Ziggs bot lane. So that one is not surprising if we see it rotated over there.
Looks like
But
Momo's taking the Kane.
yeah, Momo's taking Kane.
Interesting.
Okay, so they've decided that they're gonna pivot up the Nocturne to top side. Going into the Mundo, I don't see him having a good time up there. Maybe levels 1 through 3, he has enough damage before Mundo starts getting too tanky. But after that, I don't really see you ever killing that Mundo.
Even
Yeah,
level
see,
2, the Mundo shield blocks the Nocturne, which is kind of crucial for his kit. So I don't think that's going to go well for him even 1 through 3.
Yeah, Nutmeg
yeah,
gonna have a
but I
tough
actually
time.
don't even think that Nocturne pick was necessarily for the top lane. I'm very surprised to see the Nocturne flipped up, but I actually think it was an unintentional flex there. They really picked Nocturne first, saw the Jin Lux, and I assume they really wanted to pivot Mobo to something that he can actually make some more plays on. So they pick him Kane, they stick the Nocturne top and tell him good luck. But it's very interesting that we're actually seeing what I believe to be a flex pick in a tournament like this.
Yeah, I think one of the
Now,
things that that I'm not really enjoying about Moist Chalupas' picks right now is it's a very sink or swim type comp. You know, if they don't get ahead, they're not gonna have a good time. You know, if they set up themselves because they're all super squishy. If that Briar ends up getting 2 or 3 kills, or the Ari starts picking up some resets, it is game over. You know, they can dive in on the back line, but if they can't kill him, what's the point?
yeah, the lack of tank, even if Kane goes red Kane, that he's kind of an in and out type of champion. He's not a true tank that can like set up for his team. So this team really is, hopefully you can get a pick and kill them before the other team responds.
Yeah, when you're seeing like disengage from Ziggs and Vigar in the bot lane, you're seeing hard engage with the Nocturne and the Kane. Nico, I would argue, is probably more hard engage than not. You know, trying to go for the Pot Blossom Hex Tech dash into. And once again, it's just this kind of weird double hybrid. Usually, if you're using something like a Nocturne and a Kane, you want like hard engage. You want everybody to be on the go button. And so I guess what you potentially are having here is Ziggs and Vigar are going to have a really easy time at surviving lane, especially if the Ziggs is taking teleport. Him getting chunked out by the Lux Jin isn't going to be too scary. So maybe they're just pivoting these APs into the bot lane with the hope that they can just kind of snuff out Jin and Lux, make them not do that much damage. Nobody really overextends in the early game. Maybe Briar doesn't pick up any early kills. But other than that, I'm just not really seeing what their game plan is.
No, I definitely favor uh, not the Kane. I think the Mundo team is a bit stronger here. Just a lot more traditional would be the best word that I would put here. It's not. You don't really need to snowball. You don't really need to get an early lead. You don't really even need to get a late game lead either. These pretty much all 4, maybe 5 of these champions work extremely well under pretty much any circumstance. They don't need a lot of gold. Don't need a lot of engage, anything like that. Meanwhile, on Momo's team, it's just a lot, more difficult to set things up in a proper way. The Ziggs, like you said, kind of off on his own. The Vigar off on his own as well. And Nico does have hard engage, but it seems a bit more difficult for her to follow up on something like Kane and Nocturne, considering Kane can go through walls and Nocturne can go from across the map. She has to have flash up plus hex tech, or she has to find some very weird flank in order to be there with the team when that engage happens. So excited to see, I would say, a much more skill based team versus a much easier, more traditional team. If they're able to pull it off, if they're able to find those engages, find those flanks, find those team fights, and find the win as well.
Do you think that there's going to be an invade of some kind of level 1? Because I think that's really the only way you can get ahead with a lot of these champions on the Chalupa side and kind of at least get the game to the mid game you're hoping for.
I mean, it's very risky to go for something like that. I could see it, but you wouldn't have a strong level 1 regardless unless Nico kind of caps her lane and goes for the stun early. She typically goes Q for wave clear, especially against someone like Ari who can get that push very easily. Vigar would have to cap his lane with the stun as well. He really wouldn't want to take Q. You could see it. I just wouldn't recommend it, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
but we'll see what they do as
I
we
mean,
load into
Vigar's
the game.
stun on support could be taken level 1 without capping the lane too hard, I think. But I agree that the Nico taking E is just kind of trolling this lane against Nari.
Yeah, and you're not going to see a lot of help from Nocturne or Kane either. Both of them kind of suck early, for being blunt about it.
Yeah.
Kane Q doesn't really do anything, hard to even reach anything relevant. You don't have your E up. We'll see as we go into the game here. I think they're just going to try and play safe, see if they can get Kane to red form. Most likely we're going to see blue form in this game, though. You'll have a lot of range champions to pick it off of, but not a lot of good lanes to actually get those orbs. Jin Lux going to be staying pretty far back, have the ability to just sit back and watch. Ari has very easy, very simple wave push, doesn't really even have to go up into the lane, and once she hits 6, she's impossible to actually catch. We'll see how this Kane can find his form. Hopefully he can do it early. They get the ward down. He does have his sweeper to clear that. Just going to be defending his top side. No invade. We'll see what they do from here.
Yeah, and that was actually really useful for Harmoniously. Getting that ward gives her the XP she's going to need to get to level 2 on that first wave. So definitely going to be a huge advantage. I'm hoping that we can tab over to that mid lane during that clear for that first wave and see her capitalize on that level 2 advantage. Anime may not be prepared for it. I'm not quite sure if Anime is aware that XP is a very crucial bump for the mid laners.
We'll see if Harmoniously also knows that crucial
That is
bump
true.
for the mid laners.
That is true. Looks like another
Getting
ward's
more
going to be
vision
put out.
down.
Just trying to catch out where that Kane is. I feel like it's pretty known that Kane likes to start Raptors by himself. So if you know that your Briar is starting your own Raptors, there's not a whole lot of fear that you have of, where he's going to start. But, I suppose it's useful to have that guaranteed information. So not gonna flame anybody for wanting to get vision for their team.
Yeah, both junglers pathing from their Raptors to their Krugs, it looks like. So we'll see if there's a level 3 gank or if they're just going to both go for the full clear. Kane, I mean, unless he has something served up to him on a platter, he's probably just going to go for the full clear. While Briar might be able to find something against top lane, especially to get this Mundo just kind of rolling and make any chance Nocturne had of having fun just gone immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, Anime Angel doing a really good job at pressuring the early wave from the looks of it. Even though Harmoniously was able to get level 2 off the first wave, when you have the entire wave just hard shoved in on you, I guess Anime Angel was able to just pick up the XP before she could even finish her first wave. That's a lot of insane pressure, and I'm hoping we'll see a little bit of a punish from Momo once he finishes out this clear. He's not going to be able to gank bot, so hopefully he starts to posture. But instead, it looks like he might be going for a vertical jungle.
Interesting. Well, him and Briar are going to meet up somewhere, so this will be at least interesting level 3 for both the junglers to kind of
Just kind of
never mind.
posturing. Looks
He's
like he
actually just
wants to
waiting.
go for the gank, but he's not going to be able to get it. Yeah,
Did
just
he
going
get
to
seen
back
on
out
that
here.
ward? There was a ward in that bush right before he walked in.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't think he got seen on the ward. Just kind of an impossible area to gank in that scenario. He was trying to find something early, but once again, they
Gotcha.
kind of...
Briar catching Kane out. Kane no longer having E.
That is
running
not a
around.
fight that he can take. He's going to flash out. Oh, actually going to follow. We'll see
Briar
if he can close
chasing,
out
but the
kill.
Vigar cage
Very
up.
nice. The W from Jin landing, though, isn't going to be enough. Oh, and that 6 actually popping off. They're keeping him alive. She's still going to go in forward. Just going to do the damage on the Vigar. Nice stun. He's going to have to use flash, and Ari actually lands the Q on him. That's going to be first blood. Barely dodging. Oh, he died anyway. What the hell? He dodged
I
the
think
Jin
that was a
W. He died
comet proc
anyway.
or something. That was crazy. Yeah, Briar almost saved the Vigar, but ends up killing him in the end anyway through red buff or something.
Had to have been the bleed. The bleed actually proccing that comet there at the very end. Very nice. 2 early kills going over to TTT there. Very nicely done.
Yeah, 1.5K gold lead just off of that play alone. That's a huge power spike. And going in towards the mid and the jungle, we were talking about earlier about that Briar getting ahead early and just kind of stomping out this squishy opponent. And the game is far from over. But that's exactly the kind of lead you were talking about happening right here at the beginning.
Yeah, and this is really going to suck for the Kane because now he's behind not only on orbs but also XP and gold, especially considering such a dominating matchup against that Briar there as we saw earlier. This does give Ari an advantage in the mid lane, but this is really going to hurt for the Kane, to be honest with you. Very surprised that he tried to go for such an aggressive play early on. He actually did have a very decent timing to go in and invade, but TTT was very aware of such a timing, put the ward down early. He tried to go for a gank. Just unfortunately wasn't able to make it happen, and now he's going to have to learn how to play from behind.
And this is rough for blue team in general because we were talking about if they wanted to succeed, they had to get ahead from the very beginning. And now that they're behind the very beginning, their team comp feels even worse than they did in draft phase, which was already pretty bad. So I'm curious if they'll be able to somehow recuperate from this and make it to mid game with at least a game to play.
Yeah, Briar taking that recall here too. Just bought a bunch of gold in her pocket. Invested it into the Tiamat and the boots. That's going to make her clear super, super fast. And hopefully unleashes her from the jungle a little bit to get on the map. Kane's posturing his way up to the top lane. Chronic's probably going to go down. And
It's so free.
There he goes. Kane sweeps in, gets a free kill, and is going to be able to go right back over to his Gromp, act like nothing happened.
I stand corrected. Apparently Nocturne does beat Mundo in lane. Not entirely sure how, but there it is.
Yeah, so their matchup's actually quite interesting because a lot of people don't really see Nocturne top. I remember for a while it actually used to be a thing back when Bork was a lot stronger.
Briar going top.
Oh, we'll see if the gank happens. No, not quite. Just gonna cover him, see if he can get the Nocturne. But Nocturne top used to be a thing. And people always used to underestimate his damage. Now, the reason that I think Mundo wins the lane is because under all circumstances, if you don't fight the Nocturne, he can't kill you. You can get to 6 very cleanly, get your first item, likely Heartsteel or Warmogs, and start farming on him because Nocturne can't really do anything to stop you. But the stipulation is if you don't fight him. If you do fight him, you're probably going to underestimate his damage and die like we saw there. Very nice from the Nocturne there, getting his Tiamat. Kane actually coming back a little bit now up in CS, gets another kill. He's going to actually get more orbs towards red form, something he may not like in this game. He does have the option. I'm excited to see which one he picks, but overall, good convergence.
And we see the grubs falling, 3 grubs over to the red team. And, you know, if they can get 6, I think that's just another boon to their easy-to-execute team comp. And especially with the Ziggs on the other team, Ziggs loves those grubs. He doesn't need them, but it makes his tower clear from like 4 autos to 3 autos, which is always a good time.
The slight increase, 25%.
Yeah. I'm just going to take a quick recall from a Ziggs here. Choosing not to TP back to lane. Honestly, probably the right move. Jhin is not going out of his way to deny very much minions, and the wave is actually pushing towards him from the looks of it. Well, maybe not. We see a little bit of a trade going on over the scuttle. Both Tilted Tater Tots doing a good job at just comboing their CC. Yeah, lots of damage coming into that Vigar, but he's probably just going to take a recall. Or no, just burn some health pots. Stays in, wants to back up his Ziggs. If they're about to hit level 6 here in the next wave or two, they're going to be able to do a lot of burst damage onto this this Lux or this Jhin. So I'm excited to see where that level 6 for both bot laners comes in handy.
Oh, the charm, Ahri tower dive, and doesn't even need to.
Doesn't even need it. Well, mid lane's going exactly how we expected it after that first kill, early red buff as well, but something that we actually didn't really take a look at was this bottom lane. The Ziggs is actually up around 20 CS, which is alarming considering they have pretty decent wave clear with Jhin Lux there. We're going to see the
lights and instead of disengaging,
Ahri's right there. Is it going to be enough? She actually lands the charm, but Mundo kind of side missing Q. He does land the flash. He gets the kill. I don't think he's going to walk out. Yeah, Ahri still has the
chase
ultimate.
Down here. Interesting use of Q there. Ahri before Qing, but back in the bot lane, going in. Jhin damage is insane. The bomb comes out from Ziggs, but nothing really to capitalize there. Eventually, Ahri does get the kill top, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw 2 very interesting plays that I want to point out. One in the top lane, Ahri holding off the R, that ultimate, with the goal of not thinking that she needed to burst down this Nocturne. I think she underestimated that Conqueror heal is going to really sustain him through. Same with the Tiamat. You combo those 2 things together, and this Nocturne is going to last a lot longer than you'd anticipate. And then in the bot lane, when we saw it tabbed over to their fight, we saw that the Jhin was able to use his W shot to snare Ziggs out of the air from his satchel escape. That was huge because it allowed Lux to set up her snare and her E as well. And then when you put all that damage together, of course, the Ziggs is going to fall into his grave.
It was just a comedy of errors top lane too, because Mundo popped ult super late into the fight. I'm not sure if he was just trying to bait the Nocturne in or what, but if he had popped it a second earlier, Nocturne would not have been able to flash kill him, and then it just would have been a free kill top lane.
We keep underestimating Nocturne damage. Is what it looks like to me. Yeah, he's able to get another kill there. He does go down, but I would wager to say it's actually kind of worth it. It puts him back in the game. It just puts the Ahri, who was already ahead, further ahead, which she was already clearing lane. You know, now he has the opportunity to do this to Mundo. No ultimate is up. He is going to flash out, but Had the Q on him. Not going to be enough, though. He does get to the tower, but now we have a serious opportunity for a tower dive. If he is not aware that Briar is there, though, she is just going to hover, make sure that the Mundo is safe, walks out. Nothing comes of it.
Yeah, something that's interesting about this Ahri is pointed out in the chat too. Rushed out for the Ludens instead of the Malignants. I'm supposing that Anime Angel is really trying to go for the one-shot burst rather than the utility of the ult. And I can respect it to a degree, especially if it allows you to one-shot. But when you have situations like this...
Stun into Kane.
Yeah.
Easy kill. I'm not sure if Briar wants to be here either. Kane's just going to get a bunch of free orbs, and Briar's probably going to die, but with the knockup, she might be able to get away. Smite out, the stun just misses, and Briar's able to walk out.
Once again, just holding the ultimate. Ahri had the dashes available and just chose to flash instead. I'm not really sure if she's just not used to using flash, or I'm sorry, used to using the ultimate in that way, or if she just, kind of panicked and just hit the summoner spell that's always up, but...
She didn't buy the Faker skin. You're not allowed to use your full brain unless you buy the $500 Faker skin.
That's probably
it. Truly is tragic.
That's probably it.
Yeah. It might actually be something along the items. Without Malignants, you don't have that ability haste on your ultimate, so she may value the ultimate just a little bit more than you rightfully should. In a situation like that, caution to the wind, especially against something like Nico. Even though you're still up, that ultimate is a killer. You don't have a spell shield. All you need to do is just ult for ult. Your ult is almost always on a shorter cooldown than hers, even though it's not as short as you may want it to be without Malignants. Just use it, just don't get hit by the ult. It sounds crazy.
Are you going for a gank behind, though?
Oh,
the
good charm.
Stuns her.
Ult after ult. This poor Vigar is not going to survive.
Flash under tower, though. Briar's stuck under tower, uses the W to escape, but the Ziggs ulti finishes her off. The disappointment of not being able to pilot your champion half the time is kind of rough when someone flashes under their tower.
Yeah, and that Ziggs is not only going to be able to get a return kill on that, but also a blue buff. They're never going to be able to keep a wave under this tower. This man is going to be throwing out Qs like it's his job.
Yeah, he does with the blue buff, but it does alleviate some pressure on him, at least a little bit, giving Jhin yet another assist. Oh, catches
with Kane coming in, should be able to kill the...
does get out with the heal from the passive. Kane is going to be able
Kane down. Kane just getting free souls coming in here, though. Do you think it's going to be a red Kane or blue Kane looking at the build?
I mean, we haven't talked about it much, but yeah, he's getting a lot more red orbs than blue orbs. Looking at the build that... what does Coalfield build into? I can't quite remember.
Looks like he's building... Oh, there you go.
Oh, hey, look, I figured it out.
There it is.
That's a blue Kane build.
That's got to be a blue Kane for sure. But what's interesting
is
is the Merc treads. I don't know if there's enough CC on the enemy team. Well, I suppose there is. You have Lux Snare, Lux E, Briar Stun, Ahri Charm.
JW, Ahri Charm. You definitely go.
All right, I guess Merc treads is the move here. But yeah, he ends up with the red Kane just from all the orbs. So might have to pivot 3 minutes from now. We'll see. Nocturne getting caught out here. Mundo is just going to be able to run him down from the looks of it. 1, 2, and there he goes. Briar doesn't even need to go in. Nocturne wastes the ultimate too. That's quite unfortunate.
That is a huge cooldown to actually waste too, because he is, if I believe, he's not 11 yet. So that's still like a 2.5 minute cooldown, I think, is the original. 180. It's 160, I believe, is the original cooldown.
Yeah, 126 seconds.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes.
Ahri might be caught out here, though, with Kane and Nico going in. Kane ulting in. Ahri has Blast Cone, though, to try to escape. Can she use it? Nah, Kane gets a nice kill. Vigar caught out, though. Back it up, though, with Kane following up. I don't think he can go too far in this, though. Ooh, flash out of Lux. That'll be good for the dragon fight, though. Blue team should be able to take this pretty easily without contest between Vigar, Cage, and the items blown to secure that dragon take.
Yeah, a bit of an unneeded flash. All of the Kane abilities were out of the way, but better safe than sorry. They'll go ahead and give up that first dragon there. And we do see Herald about to spawn as well. Mundo getting some gold. Unfortunately, it's not really on a target that's going to matter a lot on. Nocturne might be able to run him down, but Mundo does get a bit of movement speed on his ultimate. He feels safe. Is going to underestimate Nocturne's damage again.
He'll learn eventually, right?
No.
Right?
No, he won't.
Especially with down.
Too.
Just putting a word on. I was gonna say Nocturne's probably strong enough that he could probably start it and Kane could just meet him up there, but
yeah. Speaking of Kane, we were all wrong. He did go red Kane. He locked it in. Maybe just didn't want to wait the 3 minutes. I don't see I don't. Is opportunity is the name of that item, correct?
Yeah.
I know it's the one that stacks whenever you get a kill. You just don't see it on Red Cane ever, if at all. I'm kind of interested to see as to why he would go Red Cane with an item like that. I'm not hating the Red Cane choice. You may need a bit more frontline, especially considering the team you have around you. Just with that item choice, it's a bit confusing to me, if we're being honest.
Ooh, oh god, no, she's out. I thought the cage got her for sure there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they don't have any tanks, but they're just kind of doubling down on their win or just get murked. But ooh, the Nico clone there as the minion, but not quite enough.
Cool.
And Jin has his ultimate vision on her.
And the curtain call
Yeah,
claims
very
it.
clean.
Yeah, Nico goes down. I know Red Cane is generally going Eclipse and then into Cleaver, I believe, is the standard one too. So definitely opportunity is a little interesting. And both junglers, both about to finish out their jungle items. Rift Herald just gets claimed over by Moist Chalupas. That's actually going to finish off the jungle item for him. And the Nocturne comes in with the ultimate, cuts the lights out, and the Vygar ult finishes off Ahri. She is not going to like that one. But
interesting choice of flash there as well.
yeah,
A bit of a panic ability.
Yeah, and there's the Rift Herald just going to claim out the mid tower. Zig's going to be able to use the satchel to... Oh, nope, just going to save it for the second tower. Really, really smart from Moist Chalupas.
Oh, he did use the W on that first ult there. Or the first tower, sorry. So won't have it for the second tower. Did clean it up, did get the second Herald hit there. Very nice convergence there. Unfortunately, Ahri picking the wrong choice yet again. We're hitting these 50-50s. She used the ult instead of flashing the cage. That cage is deceptively fast. I think it comes up in half a second. So it's a bit harder to react to than a Nico ultimate there. Getting caught and then panic flashing when it was just a little bit too late. That lead that we saw from the Ahri is dwindling, and it's dwindling very fast. It's not going to the Nico. It's going to the Kayn, the person who was behind for quite a bit. Now he's 3-1. We saw his item. He's going to be stacking that opportunity. See what items he gets on this back here as well. He has a bit of a bounty.
Going for some armor pen.
Is he building Last Whisper?
Yeah, could be Cyrilda's if he wants to go for some slows, maybe. But I think what he's really focusing on is he's going to be the one who's going to take down this Mundo. As pointed out in chat, we definitely have the percentage health damage that Red Cane has. And opportunity might be for the rest of the team. Definitely an interesting pick. I think from the looks of it, he's the one who's going to be taking down this Mundo in the mid to late game. And this poor Briar getting caught out. Kayn is going to finish it off with the ultimate.
Kayn looking for more. Unable to find anything though. Wall too thick actually to Q through there.
Ooh, Ahri looks like getting caught out. Good charm. Dodges the cage, but knockup is going to cause some damage. Kayn gets another kill. That's a 5-1 Momo. Charging through the mid lane, ready to press another wave.
Nocturne rooted maybe with something? Nah. You know, I didn't like the team comp, but if you just kill them before the fight actually happens, I guess it's free.
Well, and that's what we were talking about in Champ Select. It's a very feast or famine type team. And right now, they are definitely feasting with this Kayn pick. He is a terror on the map. And it's kind of unfortunate because Briar started off with a really early fight. You know, that a 1-0 advantage isn't insane. But when you consider that a couple camps were down and the tempo was lost, Briar really had a huge lead coming into the start of this game. And it's just kind of slowly dwindled down. Briar been doing a good job at trying to keep his lanes ahead and afloat. Both with the bot lane and the mid lane, but yeah, we're just kind of seeing Tilted Tater Tots slowly bleed out here.
Yeah, I was actually hoping to see a lot more activity coming in from the Briar, to be honest with you. With the lead such as that, you can kind of strong-arm any lane that you think the Kayn might be going to. And Kayn going to lanes is more of an inevitability than anything. He needs to go there eventually to get his orbs, right? So with the lead and with the tempo advantage, you can clear faster than he can, especially with that early Tiamat buy that we saw, and just match him wherever he goes. And I think the idea for her was that she wanted to play a bit more proactively, try and find things on her own, but that ended up unfortunately not working out in her favor. Some 1-for-1s, some bad trades and lanes that she wasn't able to match that Kayn into, and now he's caught up. He's up to 2 items, and they're up 2 drags as well.
Yeah, we're actually seeing the gold advantage swing in the other direction too. Moist Chalupa's up about 1,000 now. We were talking about earlier about a 1.5k in the other direction, so really good job, and not just this Kane, but Moist Chalupas as a whole, to just kind of play around their leads. We see a Warmogs coming out from the Vigar in the bot lane. Very interesting pick, considering that, one, Vigar not really known for being his tanky frontline self, and two, the Warmogs got nerfed, if I'm not correct, or if I'm not wrong. The percentage.
Also, 3, Tank Vigar, you kind of need to be farming CS. The whole point of Tank Vigar was you would use your Q to get the AP, so you didn't need to build AP damage items. But if you're playing support, I mean, how much Q or Phantasmic power do you have? We have 54 on him. Like, I don't know. Seems a bit troll.
Yeah,
it may be a bit troll, but I can actually see the value coming in from it, because while you don't have the ability to farm as a support, you can kind of just press Qs and Ws on the team without even having to worry about farm. Ooh, that all did
Nocturne
absolutely
going
nothing.
in.
that was a really clean charm from the
Okay,
Ahri.
I take it all back. It might be a little bit troll. That Vigar ult did absolutely no damage to 20% Ahri. She's able to live through it. And the counter pick coming in, Nocturne going down in that top lane there, giving him a little bit of breathing room, especially around when the Baron is spawning. So good convergence, good collapse coming in from TTT there.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how their macro is, because even though they're ahead, again, they don't really have a traditional team fight. So if they mess up, like poor Ziggy's here getting just collapsed on, without a tank, you can't really do anything. So they'll really have to rely on their 3-1-3 or 4-1 to try to get this game done. Finding a pick, though, and Ziggs is still alive?
Yeah, the curtain call didn't finish him off. I'm quite surprised by that.
Well, Ahri didn't have her ultimate there. After the W, she didn't really take a decent path, kind of going straight for him. I was hoping that she would actually go around him to cut him off after the satchel there, but he's able to get out pretty cleanly. She's 5-4 now, falling behind a little bit. Doesn't have the damage that I think she thinks she has, but would have been a nice pick there, especially on the trade in the top side. Briar getting caught out there. You really do want to find some 1-for-1s in the state that we're currently in. Kind of slow the game down. Give yourself more opportunity to catch back up, refocus, get some team fights in, and try to lock in this game. But we'll see what they can do in the future.
I think Ahri is really regretting not getting that Malignance, because like you said, she went for burst and she's not even doing that. So now she doesn't have an ultimate as often, and she's not able to burst anyone down.
Yeah, and something else I want to point out as far as build paths are concerned, we see the Spirit Visage coming out from the Mundo. He's currently working on it right now. And I'm not so sure if that's the move. I know they have 3 AP champions, but I really do think you have to respect this Kane and Nocturne damage enough to build some more armor. You know, this Nico is not putting out the damage we would fear. Hasn't even finished the X-Tech belt. Rushed the Zanyas out the gate. We see the Ziggs starting off with the Seraphs and the Blackfire Torch, building Leandri, so definitely going to be looking more towards health percentage than pure AP damage. And the Vigar is building Warmogs and never stacking his Q. So I'm not really sure where the Spirit Visage is going to be relevant, other than just simply the healing.
Pick, but yeah.
A bit of a disconnect.
Kind of doomed for this Briar.
Ahri does get out. Once again, a bit of a disconnect on the team there. Briar going for a pick on her own. Confusing to say the least, but I guess more speaks as to, you know, kind of this state of where they think, you know, the game is currently at, that she needs to find a pick there. I would have hoped that they would have slowed down once again, kind of refocused, pushed together to see if they can find a pick on their bot side. Maybe just 1 or 2 more people there helping would have meant that the Ziggs would have had a much higher chance of going down. Mundo is taking that fight and winning against the Nocturne in that top side there. As we see them pushing into the bot side here, they don't have much to stop it. With the Briar down, the Ahri dead as well. Briar gonna land the ult. She's alone yet again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be enough though to get 1 kill.
1 kill going over. I think Kane can just 2v1 though.
Yeah, do we have anything to stop the Kane? Good kite back.
Yeah,
taking
this
a lot of
Briar
damage.
keeps kind of going in, and she needs to have other teammates there, because she literally can't control her champion for 2/3 of the game. So this constant 1v1ing is a bit confusing at this point, since she's not fed, so she can't kill him by herself, and is very predictable for a lot of this CC that blue team has.
Yeah, not to pull any bias here, but if TTT wants to find a way back into this game, I've been saying it for a minute or 2 now. They have to play together, refocus, lock in on trying to find skirmishes, 2v2s, 3v3s, maybe even 5v5s. You can find something with the amount of collapse and CC chain potential that your team has. You know, you have the Ahri. If she's right behind you, you can land a charm, chain stun with Jhin, chain stun with Lux, get the ultimates out, and kill someone before they even have the opportunity to move. Especially considering that this 7-1 Kayn, who is Red Kayn, has no defensive items whatsoever. He's gone full damage. If you catch him, he's dead. They just have to find a way to catch him, and not alone, together. Find a way to play it and fight together.
Red team has activated their DDoS attack, though. Kayn operating at 200 ping currently, so
I was
we'll see
gonna
if that
say,
can help them out any.
If we're going to talk about ways that the Tilted Tater Tots can shut down this Kayn, definitely making him lag is a good way to start. You know, that's right up there with getting the cat to run across the keyboard.
Yeah, I heard the cat's off actually this week, so DDoS is the only way to confuse the enemy at this point in time.
Tragic. And no 9 to 5 there. Landing the charm. Ahri does have the ultimate. Very easy walkout, but Nocturne is still walking in for some reason.
He's doing his Briar impression.
Briar actually is going to be taken down. Legendary from the Kayn there. Is going to be able to get the kill on Nocturne though. Mundo in the back line. A bit lone. Actually, very good flash there. Getting himself out there. Very safe. I mean, a really good flash coming in from the Mundo there, and I'm not going to lie. Gets himself out. Makes it only a 2-for-1. Somewhere the Jhin died. I'm going to be honest, I didn't see it.
Yeah, he burned. He bled out to the... Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Nocturne.
Goes down, Mundo goes in. Yeah, it was Briar. I think, once again, we got the good old bleed into Arcane Comet into kill.
Yeah,
Classic. Now Mundo looking for something there on the back end, but he went in alone. He can't do it alone. He is going to go down to the team of MC here, just playing together. And I mean, they're playing to their strengths extremely well. They have a 10-1 Kayn. Hey, play around him, fight with him. Even though the Nocturne's going in and he's dying, he's actually creating a lot of space for this Kayn here to just find his way in, pick his targets, get the W's, and his team is right behind him. We were worried about the little space discrepancy between the Kayn and the Nocturne and his team, but they're playing around it extremely well, kind of pacing back and forth, only going in when they know that some follow-up is right behind them. The Nico playing extremely well with the amount of opportunity that she has to go in with this team. This was the comp that everyone in this commentator booth was doubting quite a bit. They're playing it extremely well.
Yeah, I apologize. This is a great plan, and you know they deserve this win. They are playing it very well.
I believed it the whole time.
Yeah. Again, part of it is the lack of communication from the other team. I feel like if they would actually play as a 5-man, that this comp would have struggled more. But hey, if you know your team's not, the enemy team's not going to play together, this comp works actually great since they're very good at finding these picks between the Nocturne ulti, the Ziggs bomb, and the Kayn kind of being able to maneuver around the map very quickly.
Well, hey, there's something you got to remember, at least down here too. We're not an OCS. You know, we like to talk about the optimal plays, what they should do, but we also got to remember that these guys aren't top level players. You know, they're trying their best. You know, these are golds, these are plats, silvers, you know, trying to find their way to make their teams work. And being able to exploit those weaknesses is another big thing that we can see here. Momo, knowing that the team comp may not be the best, but hey, he's damn good on Kayn. We pick it, we see what happens, and we can see exactly what's going to happen right here. Oh,
Vigar getting jumped on, but Briar has no damage. Vigar able to get away with the Briar W. And yeah, the blue team is just shredding them. Even though they thought they found a pick, not enough to get the kill, and the turnaround is just too much for red team to take. And that's probably just game if they go for Baron, but I think they can just end it here.
Yeah, Ahri teeping back to the base just to try to defend, but I don't think she's going to have the wave clear that she needs to get through this cannon. They did a really good job at comboing those ultimates. Ziggs ult into the Nocturne diving the backline. Burn damage from the Leandri's coming out. Oh, Kane's about to gate. Goes for the fountain dive. Gets the kill. Vigar goes for the tower tank, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to be a victory for Moist Chalupas. Well, congratulations to the Moist Chalupas. It's Momo piloting his team to the victory screen very, very well. Let's get a poll running in the chat really quick. Who do you guys want to see us drag in really quick for an interview? I think Momo is a very good good person to bring up, but I'd also be curious to see if the Nocturne might hop in. Maybe we talk to him about what he thought was going into that pivot from what we assumed was the jungle to the top lane pick. But you know, there's some other people. Ziggs did a really good job at not only just sustaining through lane, but doing a crap ton of damage in a lot of these fights. Those ultimates just putting out tons of damage, up to 21k at the end. We had the spicy Vigar pick with the Warmogs. Maybe we could interview him, see what Lord of the Void was cooking up in there. So you guys take a quick poll. Did we just do a prediction for?
No, I just cleaned it.
Oh, I was
Don't
like,
worry.
I'm so confused.
I did it at the start. Don't worry, brother.
No, that's cool. I was like, I think it's obvious who's gonna win the game.
Could we get a look at structures? I'm curious the work Ziggs put in for that one.
Yeah, let's. We're damage to
I don't think it was
total
that
damage
much,
to turrets,
be honest.
14,000.
Oh, just
There
a
we
bit.
go. Just,
Just a
you
bit,
know,
just a little bit.
Ziggs doing Ziggs things.
That is
Yeah,
a
Ziggs
lot
was
of
very
push
good
power.
at splitting and somehow not dying, even though he definitely should have. I think there's at least 2 times where we're like, oh, Ziggs is dead, and the screen panned over to somewhere else, and we look back and Ziggs is just kind of, walking away.
Alive. Yeah, and I mean, the Ziggs actually played very well with, I guess, knowing the limits of where he can go in and go out. We saw it a lot in the bottom lane, but to be honest, he played extremely well against the Briar, trying to find those flanks as well as into that mid, into that late game as well. So well done to that Ziggs.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we have a request for Momo, the Kane from Team Moist Chalupas, and honestly, I think he's definitely the guy to bring in as the captain too. We can probably ask him about what they were cooking up during that draft as well. Let me
12-2.
Let me shoot a quick DM, make sure that he's available and down. But if he says yes, we'll kidnap him and see if we can get him in for a quick questions.
And if he says no, we'll kidnap.
We'll kidnap him anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I think Tilted Tater Tots could have done better is they could have built their champions with the lead that they had early. We were talking about the Malignants never being bought on Ari. I think that the Heartsteel on the Mundo was honestly not that good. He barely procced it the entire game because there was just no melees that he could touch. And so there was a lot of things like that where it wasn't really... I don't think it worked out the way that they had hoped it would go as far as the draft was concerned.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was curious about that level 3 invade as well that we saw where the Briar got her lead. I'm curious what information they had where they thought that vertically juggling would be a good idea since Briar is much stronger than Kane levels, 1 through 6. So,
I mean, once again, I see the vision, right? She's starting red. You know that she's relatively slow on those first 3 to 4 levels, especially pre-Tiamat. You have the timing as Kane. Why he stood in the bush and tried to see a gank on Jin Lux, a bit out of my depth. I really would have preferred that he would have tried to go for a, not a counter gank, counter jungle, get the blue buff, get the Gromp, maybe something like that. Now, we know context-wise that they actually had it warded on the TTT side. Even still, though, why not, go for it? You have at least a 30-second advantage, which he did. See if you can get the early lead there instead of wasting your time, in a bush watching Jin and Lux sit back as they don't even have the level 2 advantage there.
Yeah, so I got some word back from Momo. Apparently, Mom is angry, had to run off to dinner. So not going to be able to join in for the interview. So you guys let me know in chat, who do you guys want to see of the other 4 members? They all played well. Any one of them is definitely viable to be brought in. We can talk to them really quick, but let me know what you guys want. Guys, here in the commentators booth, you guys feel free to weigh in as well if you have somebody or something you want to pick the brains on.
I kind of want to know the Nocturne because I was doubting him from minute 1, and I want to know why I was wrong because that lane went heavily in his favor.
I think I'm right. I think I was right about the flex pick. That'll be the question that I want to ask, whether the Nocturne top was intended or whether it was kind of like an idea after they saw the counter pick Briar.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Also, just in general, I know Nutmeg plays Nocturne a bit, but I'm not sure how proficient he is on it. So I want to know if this was a planned, like you said, or if it was just I played Nocturne top before, I'll be fine type of pick. I've definitely made those picks before, and they usually go poorly. So good for Nutmeg for if that was the case, performing very well.
Yeah. I also got rejected by Nutmeg, so
No.
we're
No
gonna.
questions.
I
No
might just
questions.
draft somebody instead of asking permission.
Let's
Hippo,
go.
our Ziggs down in the bot lane played phenomenal. So
No nutmegs. Tragic.
Yeah, true.
yeah, let me see if I can kidnap Hippo. Can I not move him to?
Right here.
There we go. How's it going, man?
Hey, buddy.
So we saw you guys cooking pretty hard on that draft, and it ended up working out for you guys.
Yeah.
What so we were trying to ask some of your top side of the map about what was happening between the Kayn and the Nocturne and the champ select. But you were in the same voice call. Hopefully you can give us a little clarification. Was that Nocturne intended to be a flex pick? Because it didn't seem like it was.
It was not. It was 100% intended to go top.
Oh,
Really?
y'all blind
Wow.
picked the Nocturne
Oh.
top?
Well, think about it. Where else do you normally see Nocturne? In the jungle. So what's better for counter picks if you just first pick somebody that is not intended to be somewhere? It's like similarly, we picked the Vigar, right?
Yeah.
Second. You're probably going to think that's going to go middle. And then immediately you see the Ziggs as well, and it's like, okay, Vigar, Ziggs, once again, middle AD carry. And so you're not thinking about support. And guess what? That gave us the ability to counter pick for mid, I believe. So, yeah, we fully intended the draft to go the way it did.
Oh,
Very
I was
impressive.
baited as well.
Yeah, man, you didn't just break Tilted Tater Tots' ankles. You definitely broke our ankles here in the booth too. So props to you guys. If y'all cook up drafts like this on every match, I gotta get y'all on the stream more often. That was awesome.
Yeah, we always try to have a way to, get people thinking some other way. Because obviously, if you look at my matches, you will see that I did practice a little bit of the Ziggs Vigar together. We even did a little bit of what was it, Vigar Poppy. So
Oh, that's nasty.
we like to do little things. Put up a wall, throw them into the wall. But unfortunately, because they picked, Jin Lux, it did mean that they were a bit harder to punish, or at least fight, right?
For
Since
sure.
it's a longer range. But
Yeah,
at the
I
same
would
time,
not want
right,
to play
it
a
didn't go
Poppy
too
into
bad.
a Jin Lux. That sounds
Will
very
we be
awful.
seeing a Poppy Vigar in the future?
I'm not gonna say no,
Hey,
Ooh,
I like it.
good to know.
but
Hey,
just know that we cook things up. We get in the lab.
well, if you're trying to have a little bit of help in the lab, you want somebody who can set up a wall. I can teach you a little thing about Anivia. I'm a little proficient with the champion.
I did try the the Briar and Nivea as well.
Yeah,
So
that's
we've
it's a little too saucy for me to whip out in a competitive match, but throw that in a rank flex or in a norm, oh, I'm down.
let's
Well,
just say what was it, last tournament, right? We pulled out Cho'Gath at one point, Cho'Gath bottom. That was pretty fun. And not saying that there's not a chance, but maybe we'll see a little bit of Darius bottom too. Who knows?
Nice. Now
Darius
the
Lee Sin?
Maybe not with Lee, but you ever
Dang.
heard of, Darius Ivern, Darius who's the other one we're practicing? We have options. We got things.
So we saw Kane building a lot of assassin items, then going red. I know there is cheese build of building assassin, but red Kane does have a lot of internal healing. Was he always planning on going red Kane, or was that I can't get my blue orbs, I guess I'm going red this game?
So because of the way we drafted, right, we don't exactly have a dedicated tank anywhere.
Mhm.
That being said, it allows us to have Red Kane as, more bruiser-esque as far as the healing goes, right?
Yeah,
At the same time, Nocturne has a bit of health because of items, and even Vigar also has, Warmog's Rush, so he has health. So while we may not have a dedicated tank, we do still have tanky stats and survivability.
gotcha. So
So
going the
we
half
can
and
actually
half on all
take,
those.
yes, we can actually take longer fights. But I will say, while I may not play Kane myself, I am aware a little bit of some of the builds that Kane goes, and this does seem to be a pretty common build. At least one that MoMA does, right?
Yeah.
Interesting opportunity into Geralda's. And now you do speak on the fact that the healing is very prominent, but I mean, with a build like that, he doesn't have a lot of health to start with. I think opportunity might be the only thing that does give you at least a little bit of health. Um, I think, well, at least to me, it seems like that build would only work if you're ahead. No, if you're behind, you're far too squishy to get any value out of the healing.
Perhaps, but at the same time, it's more so picking your battles, right? Because even if he's, say, a little bit behind, why fight the Mundo and Briar when you can go pick off like an Ari Gen Lux, right? They have entire squishier bot side. And in that same regard, because it's Kane, if for whatever reason he just decided to or needed to, he could have gone blue. But this, like I said, the red Kane was brought up as we were picking, and once we saw what their picks were.
So also pre-planned. Fair, very fair.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for hopping in for the interview. You guys did an amazing job, if we haven't said it enough already. Nice work to everyone, and a nice job to Tilted Tater Tots as well. I think they had a couple of questionable item decisions, but overall, I don't think any of the players just ran it down. I think they had a pretty solid game. Hopefully, put up a little bit of a challenge for you guys over on Moist Chalupas. But is there anything else, Hippo, that you want to say to your team or the people watching? Anything you want to sign off before we close out the stream here today?
I just want to say good luck, because I believe your match is coming up soon, right?
Yeah, mine is actually going to be immediately after this. And I always get asked if I'm going to stream from our POV. No, I don't think that's going to be quite as enjoyable.
No.
But don't worry, you guys will get to see Puffy Poros on the stream here in the next week or two for sure. So y'all don't get too sad. But yeah, if you guys want to come into the Discord and either participate in the tournament yourself in the future or keep up to date with some of the information from the players and the teams in the Discord, feel free to hop into Loafland Discord. And if you hop in tonight, you'll probably be able to watch the game with Puffy Poros, my own team, going up against Nyan Guard, what it seems to be the favored match, the favorite team of the streams. They've been on twice already, and we've only had 2 weeks worth of streams. So you guys can come hop in and join in on the fun, talk to the people. We have a great community, lots of players who love playing League. We like to not just play ranked and norms, but we also like to set up for Clash and do other fun events for lots of different events and things like that. So if you like to have fun with League of Legends, you want to meet some new people who enjoy playing League just as much as you, or tons of other games that you might be interested in, come hop in on the Loafland Discord. You guys can find the link here in the chat if anybody needs it. But other than that, we'll see you guys next weekend as we will feature hopefully another group of 2 new teams that you guys can come participate in. Maceo Pickin, thanks for coming. You guys want to say anything before we sign off?
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to follow. If you got any extra money, be sure to hit that sub. I have no incentive here. I don't make any money off of this. Go ahead and sub. He's a great guy. Great channel. Do what you can. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's always been fun. Looking forward to my game in 5 minutes. And unfortunately, we can't stream that one because 2 of the 3 of us aren't playing in the game. But very excited for the results.
Yeah, come support us in the Discord. You can watch a local stream offline just for fun. Tons of commentary from the other players in the tournament who kind of all chime in and have a little watch party with it. But hey, guys, thanks for tuning in once again. We'll see you guys next weekend for whatever feature match comes in with the Loafland Tournament of Champions Season 2, Round 4 next weekend. See you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys.